Hey everybody, welcome to Pack One Pick One number 229 on the Man Leek, where I'm John, as always, with another pack of Mystery Booster that made a really loud sound as I pushed that over there. We're going to open this pack, see what's in it, and see what we would take Pack One Pick One if this was a draft. Now, over at patreon.com/themanleek, if you become a backer at the $5 level or above, you get your chance to get all the cards, none of the cards, some of the cards out of the pack each week, whatever you happen to want. Not every pack is a winner, not everybody wants every pack, but this week, this pack belongs to Tom P. So let's open this pack, see what's in it, and see what we would take Pack One Pick One if this was a draft. Up first, we have Knight of Sorrows from Ravnica Allegiance. Knight of Sorrows is 4 and a white for a creature human knight. It's a 3/3. Knight of Sorrows can block an additional creature each combat after life 1, meaning when it dies, you make a 1/1 flying black and white spirit. No, I don't want a 5-mana 3/3 that can block an additional creature, because that still probably just means it dies. This is just such a filler card that you should be able to get by with not having to play it, and it's certainly not a first pick. Up next is Congregate. Congregate is 3 and a white for an instant. Target player gains 2 life for each creature on the battlefield. No interest. There is not a black-white life gain deck in this format, like there has been in formats where this card has existed, such as M15. I don't think it exists in M15. I thought this was in M20 or M19. So you're just not going to get enough reasons to play this, so I've got no interest in Congregate at all, let alone first pick. Up next is Befuddle from M19. Befuddle is 2 and a blue for an instant. Target creature gets -4/-0 until end of turn. Draw a card. If you're short on playables, this is a totally fine card to include, because it's going to buy you a turn. It's going to save you some damage. Might even get you to trade in combat, not trade in combat, but win a combat, and you get to draw a card. It's not exciting, but sometimes in these Chaos Draft sets, you do lose a little bit of consistency or power, and you do struggle to find, a playable here or there, and Befuddle would be a fine include. Not a first pick, though. Frostlinks is going to hang out in frame just like last week. We've got a 3-mana blue creature that does something impactful when it comes down. Frostlinks this one's from Battle Bond. It was originally from, I think, M14. Frostlinks is 2 and a blue for a creature elemental cat. It's a 2/2. When it ETBs, you freeze something. You tap a creature that an opponent controls and it doesn't untap during their next untap step. Great card. Totally solid. Most blue decks are going to love this, especially if you can be sort of like not a control deck, but a tempo deck. It's going to be great, and is currently the first pick. And leaves the frame. The Eldest Reborn is up next. Eldest Reborn is 4 and a black for an enchantment saga from Dominaria. Each opponent sacrifices a creature or planeswalker in Act 1. In Act 2, each opponent discards a card. In Act 3, put target creature or planeswalker card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. It's fantastic. It is an edict effect, which isn't necessarily amazing, but will get something. And then it's a half a mind rot, which is fine. And then you get to regrow something, which will presumably have been at least whatever it was that they sacrificed, possibly something better from their graveyard or your graveyard. Eldest Reborn is fantastic. It was a first pick in Dominaria, and it's going to be the first pick here for the time being. Up next is another Dominaria card, Fungal Infection. Fungal Infection is a single black mana for an instant. Target creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn. Create a 1/1 green Saproling creature token. Significantly less good than Eldest Reborn. It's still technically removal for X1s, and it does make a Saproling, which is cool. So it's a 1/1 that can remove an X1, but it's not a first pick. This is going to go more mid-pack. Gorehorn Minotaurs is up next. Gorehorn Minotaurs is 2 red for a creature Minotaur Warrior from the same set that I didn't recognize last week either, EO1. Now, this is originally from M12 because it's got Bloodthirst on it. Creature Minotaur Warrior, it's a 3/3. It's got Bloodthirst 2, so if your opponent has been dealt damage this turn, when you play this card, it enters with 2 +1/+1 counters on it. So yeah, if it's a 3/3 for 4, you have overpaid, and if it's a 5/5 for 4, you've underpaid. It's okay filler if you're in an aggressive red deck, but otherwise, it's not a high pick. Up next is Flamewave Invoker from Battle Bond. Flamewave Invoker is 2 and a red for a creature Goblin Mutant. It's a 2/2, pay 7 and a red. It deals 5 damage to target player or planeswalker. This is an okay card. It's a 3-mana 2/2, which is a little bit overcosted, but if you can get to the late game, if you do happen to flood out, just having repeatable lava axes can end the game. Totally fine card. I'm not going to first pick it in probably any pack ever, and certainly not in this pack over Eldest Reborn or even over that Frostlinks. Nest Invader is up next. Nest Invader is 1 and a green for a creature Eldrazi drone from Plane Chase. 2/2, when it ETBs, you make an 0/1 colorless Eldrazi spawn, which says that you can sacrifice it to add colorless to your mana pool. Nest Invader is a very good card. It's a 2/2 for 2, which is totally okay. That is a decent bit of filler creature there. And making an 0/1, so it's technically a 2/3, that can ramp you is fantastic. Nest Invader is great. It actually will be, or should be, a first pick in some packs. It won't be against Eldest Reborn, but it is a very good card. Our other green card is good old mainstay, Colossal Dreadmaw, 4 green for a creature dinosaur. This one specifically is from original Ixalan. It's a 6/6 trample. It's fantastic. It does everything you want it to do with it. You can't be guaranteed to have insane powers in Chaos Draft, although this is obviously a little bit more curated than Chaos Draft. But a 6/6 trample for 6 is exactly what you're happy to have in a green deck. It's not the pick, but it's a good card. Onto the multicolored slot, we've got Baleful Strix. Baleful Strix is blue-black for an artifact creature bird. It's a 1/1 flying death touch, and when it ETBs, draw a card. Baleful Strix is great. I think most people know that. A 1/1 for 2 flying death touch is fantastic because it's going to aggressively attack for 1, and then when you need it to just stop attacking and instead block and kill something, it can do that. And it drew a card when it came in, so it's already replaced itself. Fantastic card. Definitely the first pick if Eldest Reborn wasn't here, which I've said a lot, but it is the first pick over the Frostlinks, I think, for sure. Even though it is 2 colors, it's still, splashable. Our, whatever it is that comes next, card. It's not the rare. Oh, right. This is the colorless card. The colorless card is Trepanation Blade. Trepanation Blade is 3 generic mana for an artifact equipment from Iconic Masters, originally from Innistrad. Whenever equipped creature attacks, defending player reveals cards from the top of his or her library until he or she reveals a land card. That creature gets +1/+0 until the turn for each card revealed that way. That player puts the revealed cards into his or her graveyard. Equipped for 2 generic mana. This card tricks people. People will look at this and they'll say, ooh, I could give my creature +10/+0, but you're not going to. You're typically going to give your creature between 1 and maybe 3 each time you attack. Plus, you are milling yourself out quite heavily. And if your opponent blocks, or sorry, no, I read that totally wrong. The defending player reveals cards. The defending player mills, so you're not in danger of milling yourself out. You could mill them out, but of course, this is just too random. You don't want to waste 5 mana on equipping this, and you don't want to waste your opponent just chump blocking with things. Trepanation Blade is nowhere near as good as it sounds. Trust me, I loved this card when I first got back into Magic when I was drafting Innistrad, and then I learned that it's actually way too random to be worth the time and mana and just investment into this card. So don't get lured in like I used to be. Our rare is Enchanted Evening. Enchanted Evening is 3 Azorius for an enchantment from Shadowmoor, Lorwyn, Eventide, one of them. I never know exactly which one has which icon. All permanents are enchantments in addition to their other types. Big whoop. This is obviously not really for this limited format. This is not going to do anything. It is probably the last pick in the entire pack. So goodbye, Enchanted Evening. Our foil? Not foil. I never understand this. This is the old card, right? This is the old non-M15 border card. Okay. This is our rare. Our rare is Expropriate. Expropriate is 7 blue for a sorcery from Conspiracy 2. Council's Dilemma. Starting with you, each player votes for time or money. For each time vote, take an extra turn after this one. For each money vote, choose a permanent owned by the voter and gain control of it. Exile Expropriate. Interesting card, extraordinarily expensive. 9 mana is nutty, but your opponent basically has to make the choice of, are you going to get to steal 2 things? Are you going to get to take 2 turns? Are you going to get to take a turn and steal a thing? None of those are really good choices for your opponent to make. So Expropriate seems great if you have a way to guarantee you're going to get to 9 mana. I don't know if I can guarantee that I'm going to get to 9 mana, so I'd be very hesitant about picking this. I think competitively, the Eldest Reborn is still the correct pick. I expect Expropriate has some commander eyes on it for sure, but I think I'm sticking with Eldest Reborn here, so we can get rid of that. Our foil is Gilderbairn, the most adorable oof. Gilderbairn is 1 Simic for a creature oof from, I can't even guess this one either. This one I think is Shadow Moor, we'll say. Pay 2 and a Simic and untap it. For each counter on target permanent, put another of those counters on that permanent, and it's a 1/3. Interesting card. Now, of course, there's no natural way to tap this other than attacking, but you could attack, have the Eldest Reborn on the table during your, I guess you can't do it during your untap step. You have to do it end of your opponent's turn. You pay 3 mana, untap it, and I guess you actually don't want to put another counter on your Eldest Reborn. That's just, well, you want to get to the end as quickly as possible. But yeah, there's some weird shenanigans you could do with Gilderbairn, but it seems like one of those things where you're not going to be guaranteed to have that synergy in Mystery Booster. So I wouldn't take this in any way early and say, haha, I'm going to build the counters deck, because you may just not find that. This is a card you want to see like third pack when you've already got several payoffs for it. So I think for me, this is a pretty easy as Eldest Reborn. Maybe you really want to go for that Expropriate. And if you do, let me know. I've never played with this card. I think I played Conspiracy 2 one singular time, and that was it. But I'm going to take the Eldest Reborn. Let me know what you'd have taken in the comments down below. If you do have any questions, comments, or suggestions, you can always find me over on Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook. You can find me at patreon.com/ManaLeek, as Tom P did, who will be getting all the cards, none of the cards, some of the cards out of this pack, whatever he happens to want. Like, share, and subscribe, of course, is the easiest way. And if you do have questions, comments, or suggestions, let me know. Otherwise, see y'all next time.